Good morning, everyone. It's Karen. Happy Live Wednesday. It's the last Wednesday of February. It's crazy that February's almost over. It's also Ash Wednesday. So, for those of you who are not Catholic or don't go to a Christian church that does the ashes, that's what you're seeing on my forehead here. I've been up since about 5:15 so I could get to Mass and get my ashes, and so I could have the rest of my day to do all the things that I needed to do. So good morning to everyone. I'm going to pop into chat here and see who's all here. First, there's Linda, cold and wet Chicago suburbs. Linda, are you guys going to get that big snowstorm that's coming through? I just heard about it actually on the news this morning. So I know Minnesota's going to get the brunt of it from what I've heard, but everybody's going to be getting a bunch of snow. We woke up to a little bit of flurries here. So, but it looks like it's mostly melted now. So, but it's going to be cold. Good morning, Stephanie from World of Oh, sunny now, 70s predicted. Oh my goodness. So that's crazy. And Stephanie, I want to let you know, I don't think I'm teaching at Dallas. They posted something yesterday about having news soon, which means they've probably got almost all their contracts back from their teachers. And since I never got one, I probably won't be teaching. So I just want to let you know. Judy, good morning. Hello, everyone. I love your typo, but that's okay. Good morning, Judy. Good morning, Renee. Good to see you. And Pamela, good morning. Or good afternoon, actually, from Ohio. Good afternoon to all of you. I always forget that some of you are actually at noon right now. So I apologize. It's morning here. It's only 9 a.m. So that's why I say good morning. And then Judy apologized for her typo. That's okay. No worries. Linda, I sure hope not. It's in the low 30s with lots of rain. As long as no ice, sleet, and snow, I'm happy. Good. Good morning, Joanne from Idaho. Good morning. Good morning. And hello, Laura. Oh my goodness, it's good to see you, Laura. It's been a few weeks. I know, Stephanie, I'm kind of bummed too. I was hoping this year that I might be able to get out to Texas, but I'm going to keep pitching classes. So eventually I'll be out there. So maybe in 2024. So good morning, everyone. I'm really excited to be here today. It feels like as that I'm only doing these lives once a month, other than the live with the interviews. It feels like it's been so long since I've been here. So excuse me. Still trying to deal with this clearing my throat thing. Okay, maybe the coffee will help. Anyway, now I lost my train of thought. No, it just seems like it's been forever. So I'm really excited to be here. I did want to, before I get started, I did want to let everybody know that I'm going to try not to change the dates for these live streams, being the fourth Wednesday of the month. But there is a chance that may happen. I've already let the Crochet crew know this, but my daughter is going back to work, and she and her husband are trying not to have to pay for childcare. They can't find anybody they trust, and so I'm going to try to help as much as I can, even though I'm 2 hours away, which means I might drive up for 5 days, and do a week's worth of help up there for her. Her mother-in-law has also rescheduled her work time. She has a conventional job where I work for myself, so I'm a little easier at getting my time adjusted, but she is going to be taking afternoons off so my daughter can work at home in the mornings and then go into work in the afternoons. But by me being able to go up there for a little bit, I will be able to let her go in. If she needs to go in for a full day, she can. Otherwise, I'll be there in the morning so she can actually work well, maybe get some stuff done that she doesn't get done on the other weeks, and then go into work. So I just wanted to let you guys know that there is a possibility these will change. I'm going to try not to do that, but there is a possibility. So if you see the dates and times change on these live streams, just know that it's probably because of that. And I'll let you know if anything else is the cause. So anyway, so that's kind of the news. I just saw a few more people come in. Pamela says it's 68. Oh gosh, that would be nice. Are you guys going to get that storm that's going to be coming through? I heard on the news today. I know Minnesota's going to get hit hard, but I don't know about anybody else. They said the whole central, north central of the U.S. is getting it from the Rockies on east. So I didn't know what's going on there. So I hope you guys, those of you who live in that area that are going to be affected by that, stay safe. I'll be praying for you guys. And you'll keep pitching from this side as well. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to turn off my heater here really quick. I have my heater on. I'm going to turn it off because I'm getting a little warm. So hang on. Okay. It was really cold in my office this morning, so I turned on my heater. Okay. So first things first is I'm doing a giveaway. And today's giveaway, I'm sure some of you have gotten this already, but today's giveaway is Rebel Galaxy, which was my new pattern this month. This is a rectangular shawl done in a chevron stitch with 12 mini skeins from Forbidden Fiber. This is was her December 2020 Advent Christmas. It wasn't really Christmassy, but it was her Advent for December. So if you guys want this pattern, I am going to put up, hang on one second. Let me just put it up on the screen here. You're going to type in #Galaxy. So if you're interested, I know a lot of you have gotten it already, but if you haven't gotten it already, go ahead and put in #Galaxy and you will be entered to win. And I'll do the drawing at the end of the show, but I just wanted to let you know it's available. And it's what I'm giving away today. It's a gorgeous ripple that has a lot of lace to it, and that's what I really like about it. I also love the colors. Unfortunately, the colors are not available right now. They might be in the future. I doubt it, but if something comes up where someone really wants something and she really wants to put it out there, she will. But at this point, she doesn't do that at the moment. So anyway, so go ahead and put in your #Galaxy if you're interested in winning. I'll put it up again later on because I'm sure as people trickle in, they'll get it. And if you're watching this video after the fact, it's only given away live. So I hope you'll be able to join us next time if you're interested in winning a free pattern. I do that every time I come live by myself. I give away a free pattern. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell and click the thumbs up, do all the things so that you guys can be notified when I go live. I'm excited to let you guys know I did schedule someone for March 8th for our live stream. Our live stream then is going to be an interview with Sadie from Rose and Roses, and she's new to me as well. And she'll be talking about her. She's an indie dyer. She started as a crochet designer, so she's very versed in crochet. So all of you guys will be excited. She opened a yarn shop in South Carolina called Rose. I think it's called Rose and Roses. And then she and a good friend started hand dyeing. So she's been dyeing for, I think she said, a year, but the shop's been open for 2.5 years. And she's been designing for, I don't know if it was 12 years. I can't remember. She'll tell us when she's on. But I'm very excited because she's got some gorgeous colors. She's got some kits that she's really excited about. And she's also, likes crochet. She's a crocheter at heart. So we're going to have a really good time with her. So if you haven't already, make sure you go and look for what is coming up as far as live streams. And that'll be our next one. And that's March 8th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 10 Mountain, 11 Central, and 12 noon on the East Coast. And if you're in another time zone, you might want to check and just see. But I'm really excited to have her. She's going to have a couple things that she's going to give you guys. So I'm really excited about that as well. So make sure you are ready for that one. Okay, I see a bunch of galaxies come up. Let's see. Pamela says we just had a high wind advisory, probably going to be a warning. Tomorrow sunny. Oh, wow. Okay. That's a swing from 73 to 50s. Wow. Okay. That's a swing. That's kind of what we get here too. We just had high winds Monday through yesterday. We had really high winds. In fact, my husband yesterday afternoon went out into the backyard and found our fire pit turned over, and the cat bowl that we do have for the cats that are outside. And we've adopted a cat that she's an outdoor kitty. We call her Outdoor Kitty. She's already been pregnant and had one litter of kittens, and now she's pregnant again. And she just had the litter kittens right before Christmas. So Dave and I are trying to figure out what we're going to do with that, if we're going to do anything. But he feeds her, and because as far as we can tell, she does not have a home. So, but her cat bowl blew away in the windstorm. So it was pretty crazy. I'm surprised I actually slept through it because it was pretty loud. Let's see. Love that pattern. It looks amazing. It's a really simple 4-row repeat. It does have a video for those of you that are in the Crochet Crew. You have the ad-free video in the Crochet Crew. For everyone else, I do have the pattern, the video for this online on YouTube. So just look for Rebel Galaxy, and it goes through how to get started and do the repeats. And one thing that I thought I might mention while I'm here is I have started I've always been getting paid captions for those who have trouble hearing. I have a follower who is deaf, and she asked me if I could get them captioning going, and I started paying for them before YouTube did them on their own. And then when YouTube was doing them on their own, I found that theirs were terrible, so I've been paying ever since. But YouTube allows me to translate those to multiple languages. So if you're Spanish speaking now, or you know someone that's Spanish speaking, I will still be speaking in English, but the captioning will be in Spanish. Let's see, I've got Spanish, Portuguese. These are the top 10 that watch my videos, which is interesting. I thought this was really interesting. Spanish, Portuguese, Turkish, Russian, Hindi, Italian, Korean, German, and Japanese. So they will be translated. All the captions are translated to those languages along with English. So if you know anybody who is a crocheter that's lamenting that they can't understand some of these videos and they'd really like to, I'm getting those translated. I've only got Rebel Galaxy there right now. I probably will do it for others, just so you guys know. I haven't done it yet. It's going to take some time, and I have other projects I need to get through. So Pamela says it's a beautiful pattern. I see a bunch of galaxies. Oh, this is done in fingering weight yarn. This is fingering. Most of my patterns are fingering. Some are lace weight, some are DK, but my sweet spot is fingering. So that's usually going to be what you see. Galaxy, yes, I agree. Galaxy would look good in one color as well. It doesn't have to be minis. It could be tonals. It could be variegateds. This would work with a true variegated yarn. I mean, I think it would be gorgeous in a true variegated, speckles, gradients, whatever you want to do. It would be gorgeous. And Laura says, yay, LYS. So, yep, she's got a shop. So I'm excited to have her on. Okay, so Stephanie's saying, so you guys are getting the similar weather. We're going to be in the teens and up to the highs in the low 30s I think from today on. Yeah, right now it's 28. So I don't think we're going to get much higher than 32 today. Let's see. Not anything well tied down will be blown away. Yes. In reverse, person will be speaking in one case, and it's nice to have it in English. Yes. Yes, I agree with that. So I'm really excited to do all that stuff for the non-English speaking people, especially since YouTube actually gave me all that information. And I was really surprised. I gave them to you in order that they are, I wrote them down the way they gave them to me. And so English is number 1, Spanish is number 2, Portuguese is number 3. And I thought interesting that Turkish was before Russian, because there's a lot of Russian crocheters out there. So I was a little surprised, but I'm really excited about that. So, okay, so what's up next? I got a list here for me. Oh, show and tell. So since I've seen you last, I have finished, well, I've almost finished the second one, but I finished one project completely for my next book. I'm almost finished with number 2. Number 3 is being swatched right now. So I'm going to show you that first. The swatch, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but this is the swatch in progress. This is really cool yarn. I love this yarn. The yarn is of the Palouse Yarn Company. I'm going to try to put that up there so you guys can see it. Palouse, I don't know if I can get it so that it's, there we go. Oops, it cleared there for a second. Palouse Yarn Company Cashmere Squeeze. The yarn is 75% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 15% cashmere, sorry, 10% silk. And in 4 ounces, there's 400 yards. The colorway is called Rose Granite, and it's gorgeous. It's soft. And I always swatch in double crochet. So, and this pattern is going to be mostly double crochet anyway, or at least even the textured part is going to be combinations with double crochet in it. So when I when I swatch, I always do double crochet first, and then if there's a texture involved, then I'll do a little bit of the texture too, if there's single crochets or slip stitches or even triples. So when I swatched this guy, I actually used the stitch pattern to swatch it to figure out how wide I needed it to be. This will be hopefully on the actual project will be on the hook by the end of the week. I just have to finish project number 2. Palouse Yarn Company is actually a local to me. They're less than 2 hours away from me. I found out about them when my daughter was going to Washington State University. And they have a yarn shop there called the Yarn Underground. And if you have ever been to Moscow and you want a great yarn shop, that is the yarn shop. I think it's the only one in the area too, because I know the college students go over the border to go get yarn there. It's only 7 miles from the border from WSU to the Palouse Yarn Company, or to Idaho. It's right there. So when I would go visit my daughter, we'd always go to the yarn shop, and she dyes her own yarn as well. And I'd love to have her on the show at some point. So I might have to get in touch with Shelly and see if she'd be willing to do that later this year. But I love Palouse Yarn Company. I actually have another project that's actually sitting in timeout because I don't like the way it turned out with her lace weight yarn. So I don't know when that'll ever come out of the closet, but it's in a timeout right now. But I love her yarns. Cashmere Squeeze is just so soft. So I forgot to take this off, so I'm going to take that off. Oh, thank you. I'm thinking, Pamela, you're saying that for letting you know what yarn that was. So if I was fingering right, so you're welcome. It would also look pretty in a DK weight. Yes, you could. Yes, you could do it in a DK weight. You're just going to have different yardage than what I've already, what I calculated out for you on the pattern. And oh my gosh, Cashmere Squeeze is my favorite yarn ever. I love her yarns. I love Shelly's yarns. She's great, and I love it. So that's going to be a new project. That book won't be out till later this year, probably in November. I want to release it in time for Christmas for those of you who want to have something crochet related in under the tree for the holidays. So that is my plan at this moment. And it looks like I'm going to be on target. So I'm really excited. Yeah, okay, so other show and tell is I finished a pair of socks. I'm going to back up a little so you guys can see these. Now, it's funny because they don't match at all. This is Earth Yarns, URTH. Earth Yarns Uneek, UNEEK is the yarn. It's fingering weight. It's self-striping. And I love it because the socks are different. And I was wearing them the other day when my daughter was here with my grandson, and she loved them. She said that she would love a pair like this. So this is something that I finished for me. They're for me. I actually finished something for me. So I'm very excited about that. So yes. Linda says, uh-oh, I'll be probably more yarn that I don't need but desperately want. Awesome. And Pamela says, yes. Oh, okay, good. So I was thinking it was the right thing. Love those. Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm not normal. I'm usually matchy-matchy, and you'll notice that even in my crochet designs, everything's matchy-matchy. That's usually what I like, but for some reason, these socks really make me happy. I don't know if it's because it's winter and I need some color or what it is, but I was so excited to finish these socks. So I like wild things too. Okay, so that's pretty much it for show and tell. So I thought it's been a while, and you guys see at the bottom, if you have a question, type a Q in your question in the comments so that I don't miss them. It's really important for me to make sure you do put those Qs in there. I'm looking through right now because what I do is I'm able to scoop them up and then I can answer them and I don't miss something. So make sure you type the Q in there. It allows me to just visually see your questions. I'm just going to put up here one more time really quick. If you want to win a copy of the pattern of Rebel Galaxy, just type in #Galaxy. And then you are entered to win. And make sure it's typed and spelled exactly how you see it here. That's important. Okay. So Laura says, is mismatched socks still a thing? Yes, it actually is. I'm seeing it more and more, even here with the teenagers and stuff. Yeah, mismatched socks are, for some reason, they are still a thing. Okay, so I'm going to get back to the next thing I want to talk about is the original intention of these live streams was not only for me to just sit here and tell you what's going on in the background a little bit and share show and tell and stuff, but I also want it to be more educational. And I know in the past I have given you guys a link to a form to fill out for ideas of what you'd like me to talk about. So unfortunately, I need to redo that form. So I don't have the form available. Oops, what did I just do? Okay, there we go. I hit my button on my keyboard here accidentally, and it changed my screen. I was like, what did I do? Okay, so what I'd like you guys to do is in the chat, tell me about some topics that I could cover in about 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 at the most, about that in crochet that I may not have done already, or even if I've done it already, I'm willing to do them again. I know that Michelle, who's not here right now, and but she has asked me several times to do something on blocking. So that is already on my list. But if you have any suggestions, 10 to 20 minutes max, like the day that I did the blanket sizing, which I forgot to mention, if you were on my newsletter, yesterday I sent out a newsletter with a link to download the blanket sizing sheet. So the guide with all the measurements from Lovey to California King in both inches and centimeters for those who use the metric system. I just noticed Frances popped in. And good morning, Frances. I'm so glad you're here. It's so early for you over there, so I'm really glad you're here. But if you have a topic you would like me to talk about, and it can be anything. I mean, reach for the sky, and I will find a way to try to bring it down to 10 to 20 minutes. I'm not going to teach like how to make a sock in 10 to 20 minutes. I mean, I can talk about the parts of a sock maybe, but I can't talk about making a sock in 10 to 20 minutes. That's not possible. But let me know of some topics that you would like to have me talk about. It could be anything. I could do, weaving in ends again. I could do gauge. I could do, I'm just thinking things off the top of my head. So let me know. Frances says she's already printed and laminated it. Yay! I'm so glad. I have mine laminated too. And it's over here in a file so that when I need it, it's there. Liz, I see that you started to type something, but it didn't come through. So let me know. Let's see, Laura Shelton, sock blanks, not as many. Oh, good idea. Let's talk about sock blanks. That's a good topic, actually. Let me let's see. I need to get one. I haven't had one in a while. I need to purchase one. Okay, jogless joins. Yeah, that's a good one. And decreases and increases. Okay. Oh, good. I'm so glad, Pamela, that you were able to download it. That's great. Okay. Liz, always struggle with adding or losing stitches as the edge. Is there a rule of thumb? Let me see. I'm going to write that down because that would make a good topic, but I will answer that question. Okay, so I'm assuming this is when you're working on a flat piece. Is that correct, Liz? I'm assuming that's usually when people lose them, obviously. So adding stitches at the edges usually means that you're working 2 stitches in a stitch somewhere that shouldn't be there. Usually it's at the end of the row. And usually it's because you cannot read the stitches that you are making. So I know a lot of crocheters struggle, and this is even experienced crocheters struggle with double crochet and half double crochet, especially with not being able to tell where the top of the stitch is. Half double crochet is the biggest offender, because if you've ever looked at the back side of a half double and really looked at it, you almost see two chains, one on the actual top and one on the back. And some people get confused what's what when they're working their stitches. So it's usually because you cannot read your stitch. And that's why it also means that when you're working your pattern, you could be increasing, like if it's a textured pattern, like a shell stitch or some sort of ripple or something, the end is worked different and you're not working it different than the rest. Like at the end of each row on this stitch, on this pattern, it starts one way and it ends the other way. And both, while they mimic each other, they aren't exactly the same. So that could be an issue. When it comes to decreasing stitches and losing stitches, that's usually because you're missing the very last stitch on the row. That's the usual. So if you are supposed to be working in the turning chain, a lot of people miss it, including me. In fact, when I was working on the swatch, about halfway through where I am right now. I just accidentally ripped out about a row. But halfway through the swatch, I noticed that on a few rows below, I missed the turning chain and didn't work in the turning chain, because when I swatch, I always work in the turning chains because I want to see how the edges are going to work out. So what I recommend for losing stitches is put a stitch marker in the top of the turning chain when you make the turning chain and in the very last stitch of the row. And so when you get there, it always has, so what'll happen is your turning chain at either end will always have a stitch marker so that you can make sure that you get that last stitch. But if you're not working in the turning chains, mark the last stitch and the first stitch of every row. So like in the first stitch, so like single crochet, you don't work in the turning chain. But a lot of people, especially new crocheters, and I know, Liz, you're not a new crocheter, but new crocheters tend to skip the first stitch because that's what they do in a double. And then they miss the last one because they don't know how to read their stitches. So when I even teach beginners how to crochet, I always recommend putting stitch markers at the end, at both ends, so that you're not missing something. Now, when it is working a textured stitch pattern, it means a couple of things. It could be that a few rows below, or the previous row, at the very beginning of the row or the very end of the row, you missed something. And then when you're working the next row, it kind of messes things up. Does that make sense? That's one thing that you can see. A lot of times too, and I'm going to be honest with you, if you use a lot of free patterns, this is where I get a lot of questions. If you use a lot of free patterns, a lot of them are not tech edited. So many of them are, and whether it's a good tech edit or not, I'm not going to qualify that. But many of them are not tech edited, and they're not written correctly. And you think you're doing something wrong when it's actually the pattern. And I have seen that time, especially when I was working in a yarn shop. I cannot tell you how many times someone brought in a pattern and they were following the pattern to the T. And then once I started looking at it, it was the pattern itself that was the problem. So don't always think it's yourself. Always question the pattern first. And then once you've questioned the pattern, if the pattern seems to be fine and you're missing something, you need to find little tricks to help you, remember where to go. And this is especially true when you're working on a new pattern. That's using a stitch pattern that maybe you've never done before. I can tell you in the book that I am writing right now, if there is a textured stitch that's being used as the main field of the pattern, I am putting a little block in those patterns with a swatch. It's basically a swatch for that stitch pattern, but it's a great way to practice the pattern and make sure you can keep your edges straight and things like that. So does that help, Liz, answer that question? But I might do some in-depth stuff on that too. So let me know if that helps, though. Pamela says, I would like to see how you join. Okay, joining. That would be. Okay, wrote that one down because that would be a great topic. Okay, thanks, Pamela. Liz was saying yes to the flat part, I think. It may be longer than 10-15, but substituting one weight for another in a pattern, how we modify a pattern we love. Okay, yes, okay. And modifying the pattern. Okay, I could do that. That's a good. How about some of the different stitch names and their patterns, like lemon peel, moss? Okay, so do like a how to do a moss stitch or how to do a lemon peel. Okay, now the one thing about stitches like this, though, doing a stitch pattern, is so many people have changed the names to suit themselves with stitches. So what I might know as the moss stitch might be something different for someone else. So that would entail me doing some research, but I will definitely, I can definitely do that. That is a good idea too. Judy says, I would like to know how to hold the hook for Tunisian as a pencil grip crocheter. Judy, honestly, you hold it the same way. You're just going to be holding it farther away as you keep adding stitches. That is just, I mean, whether you're a pencil or a knife holder, you can still use the hook the same way. It's just that you're going to have to keep making it go farther out. But I can do a how-to on that. Since I do crochet in both ways, I can definitely do that. Okay. Yep, and Pamela said this stitch markers at both ends helps with that too. Using a lucette fork or cord knitter device might be. Okay, I've never done a lucette fork. I can tell you that for sure. A cord knitter device I have. I think I still have mine. I think I still have it up there in the closet. I don't know, but I can do. I've never had an interest of doing the lucette fork. I know a lot of people like those. For me, if I'm going to do a cord, I'm going to use the cord knitter device. And most of the time now, I actually create I-cord with a hook. And I can teach that as well. If that's something of interest, Laura, let me know. Okay, good, Liz. I'm glad that helps. Okay. So if you have trouble though, if it's my pattern, you can always email me and say, hey, I'm having this trouble with this pattern. I don't know what's going on. Let me know. So just let me know and I can work with you and help you figure out what you're not seeing or if there really is something in my pattern. So because sometimes there are. In fact, I should mention Rebel Galaxy. I have it here. Here's the pattern for Rebel Galaxy. I have not been able to put the errata up on my website yet, but the chart actually has one extra stitch on every side of beside the peak. So here's the peak, and the top is the peak. Instead of, I think it's supposed to be 10, it has 11 stitches on either one of these. And I have to contact my tech editor's been out of town. I've been wanting to have her fix that chart, but in the meantime, the words are correct. The chart is not. So if that's where you're having trouble, let me know, Elizabeth or Liz. Let me know if that's where it might be. You've been crocheting for 16 years and still using this. Yeah, I use stitch markers all the time for different things. So that is something stitch markers, I'll show you right here. I have a whole container. It's got needles and stuff too, but I've got a bunch of my stitch markers in here because I'm constantly using stitch markers for stuff. Okay. Mobius join is a good one. Okay, and I have a couple ways of doing that, so I can teach you that. That's for sure. Okay, sometimes paid patterns aren't edited either. Yes. Well, I can tell you for sure, Annie's well, it depends. If it was an actual Annie's catalog pattern or Annie's pattern, it was tech edited. It's just that they miss a lot. They have a couple tech editors that have had some issues, so that is a possibility. But if it was in the catalog, but it was a designer's pattern, then that's totally different. In fact, Annie's is going to be carrying 3 new patterns from me. They're going to be carrying my Serenity, garment. They're going to carry, I'm trying to remember, Serenity, Cactus Dream, and then my Simply Blankets book. And I can tell you all of those have been tech edited and charted professionally, and they've been around for a while. So there's no errata on that. So just so you know. Don't want to, yeah, I'd love to get better at subbing out one weight for another. Okay, that's definitely. But if it's wide, you don't have any control. Actually, you do, Judy. I'll do a lesson on that. That's because I do crochet with. I even though mostly I am a knife holder, I do pencil because that's the way my grandmother taught me, and I switch back and forth a lot. And it's very, very, very hard to do at first, but you have to keep practicing. That's the only thing I can tell you. You've got to practice doing it as a pencil holder to get your stitches to go through the wider you get. So you do have control, and there's a couple other tips I can teach you as well. So that's something I will definitely do. Francis said that would be an intentional movie. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I've definitely done a non-intentional Mobius as well. I've even noticed SN. I'm not sure what that means, Renee. I'm not sure what that means. So clarify that for me. I don't remember. It's been a while. It's the cape that's in timeout while I decide to finish a frog. Okay. Okay. Francis, yes, that's me having an intentional Mobius. Yes. I've noticed minor errors in crochet magazines. Oh yeah, magazines nobody is perfect, honestly. Obviously, my tech editor edited my pattern, and she's the one who charted that pattern. And the pattern's right. And the only reason why I found it was because when I was doing the video for Rebel Galaxy, I was using the chart instead of the words because it's just easier when I'm videoing something. And the numbers were not coming out, and I couldn't figure it out. And then I started counting the stitches on the chart, and then I looked at the words, and then off camera, obviously. And that's when I noticed that the chart was off. So no one is perfect. I mean, I tend to, and all of my tech editors have told me that I tend to be one of those designers who's very anal about making sure it's as close to correct as possible before I send it to them. So I have the reputation of having very clear, error-free patterns, but it doesn't mean all of them are. Every once in a while, an error creeps in, and that's why I'm starting test again, having testers come in again, because they help me find the things that I don't have the time to sit there and find all the time. When I'm in the throes of tech editing with my tech editors, we hash things out, but that doesn't mean we don't miss something as it's going along. So in fact, the one that one of my tech editors is doing right now, I know we are going to spend a lot of time on, because not only is it an interesting stitch pattern, but it's also graded to several sizes. And we have to make sure that everything is correct as we grade. So that's going to take a while. So I'm very anal with that. I want my patterns to be error-free. So that is something that is cool. Let's see who else is here. Oh, Kelly, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm so glad you were able to pop in. I hope you guys have you guys started the snowstorm that's supposed to happen in Minnesota? I heard this morning on the news you're supposed to get up to 2 feet in the next few days. So I hope everybody is safe and warm, and everything's going to be okay over there. So, okay. So, oh, and for those of you who popped in, I know there's somebody else too, because I could see the numbers going up. I'm giving away a free copy of Rebel Galaxy today. This is the pattern I released on Tuesday. So, or last Tuesday, not this last Tuesday, but the Tuesday, when did I release it? I released it on the 14th, on Valentine's Day. I forgot. So if um excuse me, if you're interested in winning that pattern, make sure you type in #Galaxy and you'll be entered to win. I'll be doing that drawing in a little bit. So make sure you do that. I just saw Francis says, and your patterns are a joy to work because they are error free. Thank you, Francis. I appreciate that. I work really hard to make sure that my patterns are as close to error free as possible. You'll notice that a lot of times, and I'm going to be working on this as well, but a lot of times my romance text has an error in it, a misspelled word or missing word. And both my tech editors and I miss those too. So, and it seems that's where I have my errors more than when I do in the actual text of the pattern. Okay, not yet. We're about further to the north, but do have a bit. Oh, okay. I'll be praying for you that everything goes well, because it sounded like it was going to be a really bad one. Oh, Christy, good morning. Good morning. I'm so glad you're here. It's good to see you. Okay, so and what we were doing before, excuse me, for those of you who have popped in late, a little bit later, is I'm asking people to give me a list of how-to things that I can start doing on these live streams. Now that my life has kind of settled down a little bit, I want to get back to at least doing a 10 to 20 minute tutorial on these live streams. So I have a lot of good ideas. If you are just joining, I have everything from blocking and what are sock blanks to how to do jogless joins, decreasing, increasing, adding or losing stitches at the end of the row, join, how to stop adding or losing stitches at the end of the row, I should say that, how to join a long chain without twisting, changing weights of yarn and modifying the pattern according to that weight of yarn, cord knitting. So like when you're doing like a I-cord or something, how to make I-cords in crochet or using an I-cord machine or something like that. How to do basic stitches. I've got holding a hook for Tunisian for those who are pencil holders and not knife holders. Mobius joins, different types of foundation stitches and when to use them. I just saw that Kelly come through. So foundation stitches is one. Okay. Okay, I can do that. And actually, I'm going to be creating a class on, well, I already teach a class live on foundation stitches that include all the basic foundation stitches, but it also includes 6 non-basics that are like V stitches and granny stitches and eyelets and all sorts of stuff. So be watching for that. I'm going to be doing a static class that we can do as well for that. But if anybody else has any ideas, put them in the chat for me, and we'll scoop them all up and start planning those. Since I'm only doing live streams once a month now, because I'm doing 2 live streams a month. The first one is always going to be a dyer interview, and I have the next 3 months already booked out. March, April, and May have all been booked out with dyers. I'm going to be looking for June, July, and August pretty soon. So those are happening on the second Wednesday of the month. And March's, for those of you who are just joining me, March's dyer is coming on March 8th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and it is Sadie Glenn of Rose and Roses in South Carolina. So be watching for that. Okay, Kelly, you said crocheting a border that doesn't ripple. That is so hard sometimes. Sometimes that's trial and error, but there are some tips. Yes, Linda, we are, the Crochet Crew is having our regular meeting at 1 p.m. Pacific later this afternoon, and it will be in the Crochet Crew water cooler, or not water cooler, but I have an event scheduled in the system. So be watching for that. Okay. What else was I going to say? There's one other. Oh, I know. There's a couple shops here. So I wanted to make sure you guys know that one of the things that some of my shops have been asking is, since I'm no longer selling on Ravelry, if there's a way they can get the digital patterns for their shops, because a lot of their people don't have you have printers at home. They don't know how to use they don't know how to use somebody's website with a download code or that kind of thing. And I finally figured it out. So if you are a shop who is looking for to sell patterns of mine in the shop, and want to have the option where you can actually print it for a customer, watch for my newsletter. If you're not already in my shop newsletter, it's coming on the 1st. It will have the details on how to do that. So just so you guys know. So if you have a local yarn shop that you'd like to see carry my patterns too, for those of you who aren't shops, let them know about me. Word of mouth is the best way for me to get new customers, especially the crochet, to sell my crochet patterns. So, and books too. So definitely let your local shop know. Okay. Anything else that you want me to cover today, or you'd like to see as a how-to? I'm going to go through these probably in the next day or so, and I will schedule next month's live with one of these topics. So be watching for that. But if you have any ideas, keep posting them in the chat. And if you're watching this after the fact and you have ideas, just leave them in the comments here on YouTube, and I will definitely add them to the list of things to do. So, okay, let's go ahead and do our giveaway. I'm going to put the giveaway back on the screen, and I am going to give you guys 5 seconds before I hit draw. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and draw. So let's see. And our winner is Frances. Yay! Congratulations, Frances. So I'll be putting that in your account as soon as I get off here. I need to find my list so that I can make sure that you are, there we go, on my list here. My desk is a mess right now, so I can't find things. So congratulations, Frances. I'm so excited that you are a winner. I will put that in your account as soon as I get off this live stream, and I am so excited that you're a winner. You're welcome, Frances. I just saw. So congratulations. I'm so glad you were here to get that. Okay, so let me put myself back in here. There we go. It is saying mine. Well, my messy desk is because I was doing the video for Rebel Galaxy, and I just have not finished cleaning it up yet. It's like I've got sticky notes everywhere to remind me of things, and I need to clear off the desk and get those sticky notes into my planner and into my project management system. So I just have too many sticky notes. Okay. Well, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. So I'm really glad you guys could be here. I mean, I'm so glad. It feels, like I said at the beginning, feels like it's been so long, even though I did see you on the 8th with Trilogy Yarns. It wasn't me talking to you guys so much. So I am thrilled to have you guys here. I will be back again on March 22nd. I was just checking the calendar, make sure it was the same date. March 22nd to do the actual live stream. Don't forget on March 8th, I will have an interview with Sadie of the Rose and Roses dyer and the yarn shop owner. But for the rest of the month, have a great rest of your month. For those of you that celebrate Lent, I hope you have a holy Lent, a good Lent. And I will see you next month. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.